Hello and welcome to the Blockade Runner podcast. Tonight is October 9th, 2017. We just watched the Last Jedi trailer 8 times or something? I don't know, a bunch of times. We watched it together. This is John. I'm with Kevin, a little discombobulated because we're losing our minds right now, but we watched it together a couple times, showed it to my kids, and we are here tonight to break it down frame by frame. We're going to talk about it. We're recording this as a video, and it'll be up on YouTube, so if you want to check that out, we've got our commentary and the actual footage from the trailer, but we'll also, of course, be posting this as an audio podcast as well, and we'll try to be descriptive enough, Kevin, that people know what we're talking about if they are listening rather than watching. So why don't we play it once?
Sure.
Why don't we play it once? And maybe what we'll do is put our live reactions in here at this point, or maybe I'll just toss those on at the end. I guess we'll see. I'll have to think about it in post-production. We did record ourselves watching live for the first time, but especially for the audio podcast, there's not much besides just eyebrows raising and smiles and us looking at each other like, whoa. So I'll toss that up on YouTube somewhere. But
and we haven't watched it yet to see how stupid we look.
Yeah, no, I previewed it real quick and it was like, yeah, we definitely, those are our faces and the thing is playing. It's not even like this one where we have the footage of the trailer like on the screen too, two different windows. It's just full screen, our faces looking dumb, looking at the trailer. So maybe that's more of an Easter egg than a podcast feature here or a video feature. But why don't we just watch it once and then we'll start kind of pausing and going through frame by frame. So let's see if we can get this going. There we go. Kylo Ren.
I found you. I saw raw, untamed power.
The red and black and white motif, very strong in the opening scenes here.
Mm-hmm.
Something truly special.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
So cool.
Luke's face there is...
Yeah.
Saw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now. Let the past die.
We know how that helmet broke in the original teaser, huh?
Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be. We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down. Come on! This is not going
It does show off a couple of the major conflicts, huh?
the way you think.
Physical conflicts.
Right. A few of them.
Destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
That's a crazy shot at the end. All right, let's go back to the beginning. I'm going to pause it for now, and we'll just go through kind of moment by moment. So we're opening up here with this shot of Kylo Ren looking out at... What is he looking out at?
It looks like First Order Army,
Yeah.
possibly vehicles.
Right. I'm assuming this is on a Star Destroyer, maybe one of the super massive Star Destroyers that have been shown off from The Last Jedi. But yeah, I guess it's just a staging area for a bunch of ships and vehicles. Maybe there's even those gorilla walkers or something on there. I don't know, but
He's in the darkness looking out to the light. There could possibly be some significance to that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I had not considered that, but could be. Skip ahead here.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power.
Okay. I'll scroll back just a little bit to the shot of the walkers. Okay, I guess I have to see if we can get these walkers back up. There's
Walkers
Kylo
are on
Ren.
crate?
There we go. Okay.
I assume?
Oh, yep. Walkers on crate, I think. I might just have to hit play and then pause again real quick. Yeah. Yeah, they're on crate. Those are the ATM-6, I think is what they're called. Or the gorilla walkers, I think people started calling them at this point too. So those are there. And then that is Kylo Ren's ship in the up top there. So I guess we know Kylo Ren's going to be on crates. Yeah, I mean, those things are massive. I don't think, or do I see an AT-AT? A more traditional AT-AT? Oh yeah, there's a couple of them there. So you can see like the size comparison, how much bigger the new ones are, the gorilla walkers.
That's not just perspective?
I don't think so. I think, well, like that poster that we got at Toys R Us. Did you get that poster on Force Friday?
I did. I never really looked at it.
Yeah, it shows both of them, and yeah, they're much bigger than
But they're
the
both
traditional.
on there. Got it.
They're both there. They're both there. So I think we're seeing both of those walkers, and then Kylo Ren's shuttle as well there. And then if we go to the next shot here, this is Kylo Ren walking with a group of troopers. I don't know that we know what kind of troopers those are at this point, do we? They look like...
Flame troopers? Or
Are they flame troopers? I was going to say they look like snow troopers from Empire, which I'm sure is gonna light up the it better not be too close to the Empire Strikes Back crowd. But I feel like those guys look a little bit like snow troopers. In any case, this sort of like cave-like structure that they're walking into, it looks like the cave on Ahch-To, but I think it's crate, right? You can see like red in the ground up there.
Right.
So I think it's crate. But definitely the first time we watched it, I was like, is this...
the tree.
Is it the tree? Yeah, the tree cave thing from Ahch-To. Yeah, Ahch-To, yeah.
The Jedi Temple, if that's what it is.
Right, but this coupled with that shot of the walkers on crate.
It could be if the red is lights.
Well,
I think there's a chance that that's light coming down from the ship or something, and not.
Yeah, I don't know. You can see it even like down here, like much further. It's possible, but I'm thinking it's crate, especially because later on we see the Falcon flying through an area that looks a lot like this, and I think is probably definitely crate. But we'll check that out in a minute. I want to talk about Snoke's lines here though too. So I'll just play this again real quick.
I saw raw, untamed power.
So when I first found you, I saw raw, untamed power. That's a line that kind of comes back around later on in the trailer, except from from Luke's perspective. And I would say the way that this trailer is set up here, I mean, obviously it's a lot of Luke and Rey, but like it's kind of Luke and Snoke, and then Rey and Kylo Ren are the sort of like the anchor voices, and the sort of like those are the voices that are driving the narrative of this trailer. I feel like they're paired, which I think a lot of us have been expecting with the movie anyways, is that those would be kind of like the pairings. Like you've got, the older sort of leaders in Snoke and Luke, and then the younger generation in Rey and
the two mentors on each end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's the line that'll be coming up later when Luke says, "I've seen this kind of like raw power before." So I'm
not sure that's a way we've heard the Force described, raw power. I'm not sure they've used that word in Star Wars before.
Yeah, maybe not that word, but very similar to like the way Qui-Gon and the Council and stuff talked about Anakin in the prequel movies, and I think for sure in the Clone Wars and stuff, right? Like Anakin is just this like prodigy who's more powerful, has that raw like power more so than any other Jedi before, but yeah, it is a little different than what we're used to for sure. But yeah, I think it's interesting, like that in terms of the dialogue we're hearing from these mentor figures, if we want to say, that they're sort of echoing the same statement. You know what I mean? These guys are looking at Rey and Kylo Ren probably in the same way, and just have very different intentions of what to do with them or what direction to push them in. But
there's a chance that Snoke is not even talking to Kylo Ren when he says that he's talking to Rey. We don't know for sure.
That's absolutely true. Yes, I agree. All right. And that delivery, I guess it's pretty similar to when he says, "Bring him to me" in The Force Awakens. But man, he really gets going on that word "raw" there. So it's interesting.
And beyond that.
Okay, now I have a thought about this. We see a shot of Kylo Ren, and this had been in one of the previous. Oh, it was in the behind the scenes reel. This shot of Kylo Ren with all the red around him. So he's there. He looks like he's kneeling or sort of down, bent over or something. But then he grabs his lightsaber there off of the floor. You can see the Praetorian guards in the background. What do you make of that shot and that scene? What do you think's going on there? You have any thoughts there?
Well, the black and the red. I mean, in Star Wars we know white and we know black. Red is a very prominent feature of this. So we have Kylo the Black picking up the black lightsaber with the red.
It even has the red wire exposed there. You see the red exposed wire on it. But but I'm wondering, why is he doing this? Like, why is he in a position where his lightsaber is there on the ground in Snoke's throne room? You know what I mean? And why was he pausing to consider whether or not he should pick up this lightsaber? Like, I have no idea. But I wonder.
Well, if we look at themes in other Star Wars movies, we have the, do I pick up my lightsaber? Do I use it? Luke in Return of the Jedi. It could be a similar type of test, and the Praetorian Guards are the ones who will be attacking him instead of Vader to Luke. Okay,
yeah, that could be. And I wonder, is he deciding whether or not to attack Snoke? You know what I mean? Which would definitely be interesting. It could be Snoke, trying to push him to kill Luke or to kill Rey or to kill Phasma Phasma, that probably wouldn't be that difficult of a choice for Kylo Ren. He'd probably be like, sure, I'll kill Phasma. I just killed my own dad in the last movie, but I don't know. It could be Snoke testing him or trying to push him to do something he doesn't necessarily want to do.
I think it's also worth saying that in the behind the scenes trailer we saw Adam Driver fighting multiple people. I don't know if they were rehearsing it or what, but
it's true.
There's definitely a scene where there's multiple people attacking him.
It's true. So that's even more, a situation where it's like, is he going to fight these Praetorian guards for, are they, what I keep reading about them is that they're going to protect Snoke, or that's their role, is to protect Snoke. You know what I mean? So you figure like, I don't know. It could be a test, like, but why would he? I don't think so. What would that test be? Like, well, he's Kylo Ren, like, and Snoke is talking about or Luke is talking about his incredible raw power. I don't know who these Praetorian guards are, but they shouldn't be that much of a challenge for Kylo Ren. So I feel like if he's going to take on these Praetorian guards, I feel like it means a split between him and Snoke for whatever reason.
Unless Rey is there and he's supposed to attack Rey, and when he decides not to, the Praetorian guards attack both of them.
Sure, but that would be a split with him and Snoke, right? Pretty much. So, very interesting. And yeah, the red is just overwhelming here. Never really seen those red walls and floors and stuff like this. His throne room should be pretty interesting.
Something truly special
Of course, then we have the line from Snoke, "Something truly special." Cuts to Rey, which is no surprise there really. I feel like the hero saber here, the blue lightsaber, is like really the light looks very white in it, and I don't think it's like turned white or something, but it's just. Are you getting that vibe? I don't know if it's just against the blue sky.
The sky and the clouds. Yeah.
But
I feel like if she was in a dark corridor, it would look more blue.
Yeah. Well, I think we do see that later, actually, don't we? But yeah, Rey with the saber there.
Something inside me has always been there.
Something inside me has always been there. Rey talking about her power. Here she is walking towards this tree on Ahch-To. Very foggy. I don't know what to make of this tree, the shape of it. We'd seen, I don't know if anybody looks at this stuff, if you looked at this stuff, Kevin, but we'd seen like leaked set photos and stuff of this tree. And it's got this interesting sort of shape to it, like 3 kind of prongs almost or something.
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there was like aerial shots of it, I think, like helicopter shots. I didn't really seek them out, but I came across them one way or another. But we're seeing it here. So, but it looks like it's been hit by lightning. I don't know if it's like supposed to have been chopped down or if it's just grows in this odd formation or what the deal is with it.
But now it's awake.
But then, so we cut from her walking toward it to a shot of those books on the shelf again, and then her looking down on those. And the way the light is, it looks like, obviously it's exposed at the top, and you could kind of see that when she was walking towards it. It seems like it's like hollow, and then it's like probably open at the top because there's all this light kind of like shining down on her there and onto those books on the shelf, obviously.
And I need help.
So I've always had this power inside of me, but now it's awake and I need help. Obviously, this seems like it's going to be the issue early on in the film is her wanting to be trained and Luke not wanting to do it, right? So, yeah, we see all these shots of her training, and I think it's clear that it will happen one way or another. I think you commented on this when we were just watching the trailer without stopping, but that look on Luke's face is how would you describe that look?
Surprise,
kind of terrified too, though, right? Like he looks like he's in awe and he's terrified to a certain extent, which is pretty incredible, isn't it? To think like Luke Skywalker, who we would assume, he's the only living Jedi, I guess, so that would make him the most powerful living Jedi. But the way we think of him in the original trilogy and stuff is that by the end of Return of the Jedi, he's just like this incredible, amazing Jedi, and he's able to do things that I don't mean so much in terms of power, but he's able to like redeem his father when Obi-Wan and Yoda told him he couldn't, and he just seems like the ultimate expression of a Jedi. And yet here he is with Rey being just blown away by her. Pretty cool. I can't tell if she's like sitting there trying to break open this mountain or what's happening in that moment, but
I've seen this raw strength only once.
Okay. There was a shot or two of Rey training or meditating, the rocks moving. What is this like seal on the ground back here, I wonder?
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a symbol in the rock behind him.
Yeah. Very interesting. I'm very curious to see what that is.
It looks like it's on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like it's carved into the ground, or almost like it's like a metal plate or something.
Part of a Jedi temple or something, possibly?
Yeah, I would think it would be. But he's telling her, I've seen this power only once before. Let's rewind it a little bit and see exactly what he says.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Okay, I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now. And during those lines, we see the burning, I would assume is the burning Jedi Academy, that that Snoke, or not Snoke, but well, potentially Snoke, but Kylo Ren destroyed. We see Luke's hand bursting, Evil Dead, in an Evil Dead-esque shot, like bursting out through this rubble. And then a shot of him and R2 together. So it seems pretty clear that we'll get a pretty significant flashback.
Which is different for Star Wars.
Yeah, it is. But I guess it makes sense because like with the original trilogy, it's just first, telling the story for the first time. And then with the prequels, it's going backwards. So, but with the sequel trilogy, you can't give everything away in The Force Awakens. You have to leave some things mysterious. So it makes sense to fill in those gaps with a flashback in a way that it wouldn't have necessarily been necessary in the other two trilogies.
Right.
But yeah, I'm looking forward for sure. I mean, it'd probably be really tragic and pretty intense and pretty emotional, but I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about exactly how that went down.
There are lots of shots of Luke's robot hand, which is interesting because I don't really think about his robot hand that much in the original trilogy with his glove always on. But
yeah,
the shot of him and Rey handing him the lightsaber with the hand, that I just keep wishing there was a moment where you'd see that, but it was Johnny Five's hand from Short Circuit instead.
I mean, you could probably... I got Premiere Pro. We could probably cut something together like that, but
let's do it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I don't know if it's meant to be like an omen of some kind, if it's meant to be like a painful thing where, rather than having like the synthetic flesh on it, having it be robotic like that is more. It's grizzled, right? Like, I don't even bother to cover this thing up. It's just my straight up robot hand. And we know that there's advanced prosthetic limbs and stuff that he could be using.
Maybe he got burned off in the fire and it's...
yeah, I guess he's on Octo, right? So,
yeah.
But then there's also, too, it's definitely a reminder of the similarities between him and his father and, the fact that he came close to, ending up in the same place his father was. So there's that as well. And in the shot of Rey watching him, it seems like in that same moment, watching him walk away after telling her, like, girl, you freak me out. Like, I'm scared of you. And that's actually a really sad kind of message for her to receive, I think. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, but this is somebody who has been abandoned all of her life, who has never had a family, or at least not since she was very, very young, and is looking for acceptance, and who we thought was the kind and benevolent and warm and generous Luke Skywalker, who believed in love so much that he refused to kill his own father, is telling her, like, you scare me. So we'll see how that plays out. This is interesting, this scene of Kylo smashing his helmet up. It's an imperfect science trying to scroll through this footage. We see him going down some sort of elevator lift type thing. And then he's in this very imperial room with the pill lights. And he's looking at the helmet and then he smashes it. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, it's a symbolic smashing.
Well, what does it symbolize?
Well, we don't know yet, but he's abandoning something that was Kylo Ren.
I mean,
some version or form of what Kylo Ren meant to him.
Yeah, I mean, Han tells him, take off that mask, you don't need it, So I don't know if it's just him thinking, like, I don't need the mask anymore, like, I don't need to pretend to be something I'm not anymore, or...
I don't need to hide.
Yeah.
Or it could be I don't need to be Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be indicative of the struggle, the pull to the light, as he puts it in The Force Awakens.
Just go red.
Just go red?
Yeah, you don't need to be black. You don't need to feel pulled to the white. Just go red. Whatever that means. We don't know.
Let the past die.
Yeah, let the past die.
Go back to if you could go back a minute to the shot of it, the close up of his face.
Okay.
Now I am
Is that before this? Let's see.
right after, I think.
Okay, I'll just hit play.
It does now.
Okay, we went back a little further than necessary, but
Let the past.
Okay. Now I'm very much not well schooled in this debate, but people have been complaining for months about the scar being too far. I thought the argument was that it was too far over on his face.
I think the argument is that where it's placed in The Force Awakens, it's like right up the bridge of his nose. And they've moved it to be like across his cheek and over his eye because it looks stupid, like right in the middle of his face.
So this is where it has been in all the other trailers?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like grab my I got the 3 3/4 inch figure on the top shelf to the left. Nope. Over there. Yeah, grab him.
Okay.
So, although on the figure it's a little closer to the
I
the nose, it seems like. I don't know if we can get this to be visible here on the in focus. Probably not really in focus. You can't really tell. But yeah, I think that it was meant to be in The Force Awakens more in the middle of his face, and Rian Johnson said he moved it because he thought it looked goofy. So,
Right. Okay. So this is right.
I think so.
But this is the first time we've seen with the sort of
Well, with that
the
tape,
medical taping over it.
yes, yeah, which seems like it would indicate that this is, I mean, we know the movie picks up shortly after The Force Awakens, like days after, or even moments after, from a certain perspective. But I feel like there's going to be a jump in time. So these scenes, like with him having the tape on his face, maybe that would indicate in the days following The Force Awakens, and then maybe like later in the movie, if you're not seeing the tape on his face, it's a month or 6 months or 9 months after The Force Awakens. I don't know. Space battle. We see like some of these Mon Calamari ships, the First Order TIE fighters, and Kylo Ren's TIE, whatever it is. TIE. Does he have the he has the tape on here too, right?
Yeah.
TIE silencer. Is that what it's called?
I think so. Kylo Ren being very efficient
Mm-hmm.
in the cockpit.
Mm-hmm. He's a good pilot, like his grandfather. We see Leia here on that ship. I believe that's the Mon Cala
It seems
ship.
like it, yeah.
Yep, and it's the one he's targeting. And I would assume that she's feeling him in the Force there, and she knows that he's targeting her, or that he's out there anyway. And what is his dialogue here? I'm just going to rewind slightly.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Okay, let the past die. Leave it behind you. Kill it
Kill it.
if you have to. It's the only way to become what you need to be, what you're meant to be. What you're meant to be, I think.
I want to believe he's talking to Rey when he says that.
Okay.
Even though the scene in the trailer doesn't
Mhm.
lead you to believe that. If we think about the rest of the trailer, that's possible.
Yeah, that would make sense. It's interesting though because I don't know. I feel like that's the same thing that he was saying to Han on the bridge in The Force Awakens, and I would think that his response to that would be. Now I would think his response to that would be like, "That's not true. It didn't work." You know what I mean? Although we see him targeting Leia's ship here, so maybe he feels like he didn't finish the job, and that's why it wasn't effective enough. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, coupled with him destroying his helmet and then targeting Leia here with his ship, it certainly seems like he...
Yeah, but if he's talking to Rey, which he could be, he's not saying that when he's targeting Leia. He's saying that afterwards. He could be talking about, not just his past as the child of Han Solo and Princess Leia, but his past as the mentee of Snoke as the First Order guy. They could be branching off in a totally different direction. This could be Kylo Ren and Rey, and we'll get into it later, but forging their own new path.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. Very interesting. All right, well, Leia looks pretty concerned. I think she knows what's happening here. I don't know. Is it going to be both of these parents, Han and Leia, like knowingly allowing Kylo Ren to end their lives or attack them, hoping that he won't do it? I don't know. But here, this is that setting I was talking about earlier. It's like the crystals, like red crystals. This has to be on Crate, I would think. And I feel like this looks very similar to that location where we saw Kylo Ren and the stormtroopers marching earlier.
Yep.
It also kind of looks reminiscent of that sequence in Return of the Jedi when they're flying through the belly of the Death Star.
Except it's organic.
Well, yeah, right. We got our Porg shot here, Chewie and the Porg, and I'm happy to see them on the Falcon together, for sure.
Already a classic scene.
Yeah. Have you seen? Let's watch it one more time. Have you seen the blips, the Star Wars blips video on YouTube? They're like these little animated videos, maybe like 2 minutes long. And there's one of Chewbacca, and there's all these porgs in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and they're driving him nuts. And they end up like going into hyperspace, and you see like the hyperspace, the lines of hyperspace, like the light in the Porg's eyes reflected in the Porg's eyes. But that gave me the impression that they would definitely be traveling off Octo with Chewie. So I like that idea. And I guess Rey and or Luke could be in the gunner positions on the Falcon here, since we see only Chewbacca in the cockpit. But those are going to be wonderful. Man, this is crazy. I guess like we saw similar stuff to this like in Empire, in that final scene in Empire, that final shot when you see like Luke and Leia on the ship and they're like right there on the edge of the ship. But can you imagine? Like, it's crazy. Like this giant window on his spaceship, and like right on the other side of that glass is just space. Like, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, he must be watching these ships be attacked. Poe looks pretty scared. And that's okay. What's he talking about? He's talking about being a spark that'll light the fire to burn the First Order down, right?
Right, and then we have him going from the inside of a big ship to then we see an X-wing.
Yep.
We've heard that Poe takes taking more of a leadership role.
Yeah.
And not just pilot. But then we see him, possibly going from the ship leadership role to, okay, I'm going to get out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it seems like that's like he's got that like modified X-wing too.
Mm-hmm.
It'll light the fire. It'll burn the First Order down.
Oh,
this is a big one, huh?
Yeah.
Phasma and Finn, we knew they were going to have a showdown.
It'll light the fire.
A couple things we didn't know.
It'll burn the First Order down.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, Ryan Johnson had, I think, mentioned, or maybe it was John Boyega, but they were going to have this battle. What are the couple things we didn't know?
It looks like John Boyega has a lightsaber that's a modified Stormtrooper baton. I'm not sure what the official title of that weapon is, but...
Well, I don't think it's a lightsaber. It's the same thing he used. It's the same thing the Riot Guard trooper used in The Force Awakens, right?
Is it? No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure?
I mean...
No. That thing had like a little bit of... I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm very confident. I mean, I'm not sure, but like, you see, he's even got like, there's like a handle on it that he's got like...
Yeah, but...
okay.
From this trailer, it looked to me like... Maybe.
And it's crackling.
Maybe.
It's not doing what a lightsaber does. It's crackling just like that Riot trooper.
I need to see the full angle because
You mean like you need to see something that's not in this trailer, or you need to see like
No,
the footage? You want me to play it
I
again?
want to take a closer look.
That'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Oh yeah, you even see it
is.
split open, just
You
like
saw
the
it, yeah.
yeah.
Yep. You're right.
Okay, so that's one thing. He's undercover. We knew he was going to go undercover, but he has that First Order officer gear on. Phasma has her like, I don't know what you call that staff, whatever it is. That ship seems to be in big time trouble.
Yeah, it seems like he's in a rough position here.
Mm-hmm. I don't see Rose anywhere.
That shot is very Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
The Anakin Obi-Wan battle, that looks straight out of that.
Yeah.
All of the fire in the background and the way that he strikes and she blocks looks just the same to me.
Yeah, I could see. Cool. This is a cool shot too, to see his reflection there in the chrome of her helmet. But that's all we get of that. I mean, obviously until we see the movie, but that'll be interesting. I wonder where this space battle happens. I would assume it's at the end of the movie, but it could be earlier. It could be earlier. We'll have to see.
This is not going to go.
Okay. We've got Luke in the rain in this cave. We got to skip around here a little bit because there he is. Those foxes, Leia. Okay, and then Rey again here. So I feel like that scene with Rey diving into the water and Luke all soaking wet, I feel like those are from the same, like those shots are from the same scene, right? It's a sequence of events there. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah. So when he says that line, he's talking to Rey.
We think. Although it looks really, I guess it looks dark when she dives in too, but it looks really dark and wet and rainy there.
And he looks like he's on the ground.
He does look like he's on the ground. So let's just look at this and then skip. We'll ignore the other stuff in between here for a second.
Go the way you think. Fulfill.
I don't know. I guess that's all we get. We see her standing up, but I don't like the way she gets up there and is looking at him in this moment.
The way you think.
Well, she's rising above him in the shot, so exerting dominance.
Yeah, and her shoulders are sort of leaning towards him. I don't know. And her hair looks different too, but I think, obviously she just dove into a pool of water and then, is getting out of it, so that makes sense. But I'm just wondering what's happening here. I guess all we can do is speculate at the moment. I'm hoping that it's nothing. I hope it's just some difficult training. But I guess we'll have to see.
I don't know.
It definitely has an imposing kind of feel, right?
Absolutely.
This is amazing. This, what do you call it? Like a crystal fox type thing?
Yep. We saw those in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, and they look really cool. Very Japanese, I feel like, inspired. But listen to the audio here. I'm going to go back a second. Listen to the audio when they run through there.
This is not going to go.
Do you hear that like tinkling, like crystals?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's them. I'm assuming it's them. Those foxes, they look like they're crystal.
They're running through the doorway of what we can assume is a base on Crate.
A rebel base.
And it reminds me of Hoth because does it seem like this door is closing and they're rushing through it before it closes? Reminds me of Echo Base.
Well, I would assume what they're running from is those walkers off in the distance. But it does feel very much like that. Did you read Leia, Princess of Alderaan?
Not yet, no.
Okay. There's a Crate connection in Leia, Princess of Alderaan. So I feel like makes even more sense, this scene. There's no crystal foxes, though. But the base being there makes sense after reading Leia, Princess of Alderaan. But I won't say more than that. Leia looks very remorseful or very sad here. Resigned, almost. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but It's not good either. There's a lot of foreboding, ominous stuff in this trailer, I think.
Fulfill your destiny.
Okay.
Yeah, Finn walking in this black outfit, being escorted by stormtroopers. Like, I know he's supposed to be undercover. Like, what is he doing in that shot? What is his outfit? Like, what?
I just think he looks really determined and really angry. Like, I hate the First Order, and I'm here to mess it up. That's the feeling I'm getting from that one, but I don't know. I mean, he's undercover, so...
But how is he undercover?
Yeah,
Do they know who he is? I mean, he's walking around in this nice outfit.
I guess it depends on what ship he's on, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there? If Hux is there, if Phasma's there. But yeah, I don't know. But here we see the first time we've ever seen a good shot of Snoke on film. I mean, we've seen like promotional art and stuff. There's that Topps card, I think, is where we've seen the image of him before, like from the movie, but this is the first time we've seen, like, I mean, obviously he's in Force Awakens, but it's always a hologram. So, and that gold robe, that glorious gold robe is on full display. He looks like he's holding Rey up, like holding her kind of hostage, holding her up in the air in this moment. Yeah.
It seems like he's suspending her.
Yeah, suspending her. Yes.
What if he is trying to pull her back?
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. It's certainly possible, and that is that throne room from earlier with Kylo Ren. I mean, I don't know for sure that Kylo Ren is here in this scene. He's witnessing this, but those red walls and those guards on, sort of flanking the sides of Snoke. That's for sure what that is.
Mm-hmm.
What is he saying to her again? Let me go.
That is a Praetorian Guard right behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But let's hear what he said to her again real quick.
Fulfill your destiny.
I think he's saying that to her for sure. Because it's, like you see his hand stretched out and his mouth is definitely moving in time with that dialogue. So
Fulfill your destiny.
fulfill your destiny. Yeah.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Okay, so that is the shocking final moment of the trailer here is Rey and Kylo Ren. I don't know. When we watched this with Elliot, my son, a few minutes ago, Kevin, I was like, nah, it's two different scenes. They're leading us to believe that it's one interaction, but I think it's two different scenes. But now I'm not sure.
To show me my place in all this.
That seems like what she would say to Luke Skywalker. And
Right.
we've seen the shot of Chewbacca sitting by the Millennium Falcon, sitting at the campfire at night on Octo. I feel like this could very easily be Octo at night, by a campfire or something like that. I don't see any kind of flames raining down around her or anything like that. Like the sky behind her, the background behind her is calm. And then let's cut to the shot of Kylo Ren. There's not that much going on, but there's
Same
flames
on his face, kind of.
Kind of. You see, I would love for like Bart or like Chris or someone who's, you know what I mean, more educated about that specific element of this, like lighting, to look at that and tell me, like, somebody needs to like measure the color temperature or like whatever.
It's
see,
on
because
the same side of her face though as it is his if they were facing each other.
Yeah, but her face is not nearly like that. Doesn't look as orange. I don't feel like the sky for sure doesn't, and like her,
Show me
it's brighter and less orange looking. I feel like. Then let's look at. I mean, it could be skin tone. It could be multiple things. But let's look at his face now.
my place in all this.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to say. It of course could be, but I also well, I was going to say this could be the temple, but it can't be because his hair and his scar and all this is later. I was thinking it could be like from when he destroyed the Jedi Temple because
Oh yeah, he looks more healed now, doesn't he?
Yeah, and this has got to be towards the end of the movie too. So, yeah, because he does look more healed. Oh wow, I don't know. Well, she's saying I need someone to teach me. And one more time.
Someone to show me my place in all this.
They couldn't just have her say, "I need a teacher."
Yeah, I say that to my kids all the time. You need a teacher. I love to say that to Elliot. I'll be like, "You need a teacher," and he's like, "You need a teacher." We don't know what it means. We just say it. But anyway, yeah, I need someone to show me my place in all of this.
She seems to be confused about the sides. It has to be something to do with her expectations of Luke and the reality of Luke. It seems to me like they want us to believe that Kylo and Rey will team up, or at least the offer is there at some point in the movie, probably the end.
Well, okay, but let's. They want us to believe that, maybe, but that doesn't mean that it's true. You know what I mean?
No,
like just because they want us to believe that when we watch the trailer.
They wanted us to believe that Finn was the main Jedi character of Force Awakens before it came out. This could be a fake out.
Yeah. Yeah, and even that, I would say, I don't know that it's as much that they wanted us to believe that Finn was the main Jedi character, or was it that they wanted to hide the fact that Rey was? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
they wanted to distract us.
Right. I think they just wanted us to be surprised, and
Sure.
yeah. But I don't know if I would, I just, like, if their intention was to make us feel like Finn was the Jedi, it's like, I don't know if they wanted to mislead us as much as they wanted us to just be surprised, like keep something secret. You know what I mean? And maybe there's not a lot of difference between those two things. I don't know,
by misleading us.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I mean, if we think about the earliest ideas about this about more Star Wars movies that we heard from George, is that pass the torch is what he said to Luke a long time ago. I like the idea that the torch is trying to be passed, and the kids, Kylo Ren and Rey, are just not wanting to live up to the expectations of their mentors. They're going to rebel. They're going to find their own way, possibly together.
Yeah, but I don't know about, like, for Kylo Ren, sure. But then again, like, Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens, he's all about living up to the expectations of Snoke, his mentor. You know what I mean?
Right.
So much so he kills his own father, which doesn't seem like something that he would necessarily choose to do, but he feels like, this is my test, it's my thing I have to do. And then, like, to me, I watched the trailer and I'm like, it's the mentors not living up to the expectations of their kids, not the kids not living up to the expectations of the mentors. Like, if Rey is struggling, it's because Luke let her down, I think, not because she let Luke down,
Absolutely. We don't know enough about Snoke and his relationship with Kylo, but
yeah, but I don't know.
We can assume that Luke is going to let Rey down, and Rey is going to be like, well, I need somebody to teach me.
Right. Okay. But I thought you were saying that, like, it's about the mentees, the younger people not living up to the expectations of their mentors, which...
No. I think that it's...
Because even with Kylo Ren, I feel like he has lived up to the expectations of Snoke. Snoke's expectations are kill your father and then you'll be king badass. And then, like, that was a lie. You know what I mean? And even then, like, Snoke has not lived up to what his end of the bargain more so than Kylo Ren, I feel like.
I think it's more likely that we'll have Rey and Kylo frustrated by what they've been told that was going to happen for so long. And then, forget it. I'm just going to find my own way. And when they find each other, they find that comfort and that there's a comfort of seeing somebody else going through it, maybe. And Rey is going to look at Kylo as somebody who can help her, possibly.
But okay. And I know you already alluded to the fact that, like, they would try to mislead us potentially with the trailer, But like, let's think about this for a second. Like, if the ending of this movie is Rey decides to align herself with Kylo Ren, the bad guy, or that Kylo Ren decides that he's going to team up with the good side, they've given away a ton in that moment. I mean, I guess they left it ambiguous, but like, I feel like that can't really be what the outcome is, or we wouldn't be seeing this stuff in the trailer. You know
I
what
agree
I mean?
with that, but what if the outcome is not, hey, Kylo's going to be on the good side? What if the outcome is,
if either one joins with the other,
screw our, let's forget about what they want for us. Let's figure out what we want. What if that's the ending? Forget the Resistance, forget First Order. We're the future.
So yeah, but to me, again, if that's the ending, you don't show him reaching his hand out to her, because you've just like really blatantly revealed, not blatantly revealed because we're still debating it and everything, but it's like that's a major moment in the movie, like a huge thing, where to me it's like if they flirt with the idea of joining sides, or if they like flirt with the idea of finding common ground with one another, but ultimately like they can't because they're so different, then I think it makes a lot more sense to have that hand outstretched in the trailer than it does if
that was the end of the movie.
Even if it's the middle of the movie, if they decide to team up in the middle of the movie and then they're on the same side in some way, I can't imagine them showing that hand outstretched in the trailer.
Well, especially when you think about the last movie ended, Force Awakens ended with Rey reaching out to Luke, handing him the lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what his response is going to be, but now here we have Kylo reaching his hand back, his open hand back. Like, this is a major thematic concept.
That would be cool if it had that kind of symmetry in the ending of the movie. Is that what you're suggesting?
I don't know if I would want that, only because we've seen it.
Yeah, see, they wouldn't show it if that's what it was. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think they would show it
if we hadn't seen it, but
right. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to make of that. I think the biggest thing that it shows there is, well, first off, I'm only like 70% sure that those two people are even talking to each other in those moments. Because that line that line just seems like the exact thing that she would say to Luke,
Yeah, and we know that this trailer was absolutely made to get us excited about it, but not reveal too much.
Yeah. And Rian Johnson seems really reticent or hesitant about revealing too much. He's even telling people like, maybe you don't want to watch it, sort of. But I don't know.
I'm very compelled by the idea that we don't really know how this is going to pan out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested in the possibility that this is not just going to be good Rey versus evil Kylo and their mentors. Like, that, it would be really cool if something got kind of mixed up there.
I mean, part of the problem for me is that, like, I am a total true believer in Rey. Like, Rey is my character. Like, I love her so much, and I love what she represents. And I loved Luke Skywalker as a kid, and watching Star Wars movies when I was younger. I still love him, but in the original trilogy, you love Luke Skywalker, and him wearing all black in Return of the Jedi and force choking people and potentially almost getting to the point where he would kill his father or turn to the dark side or whatever, like, that stuff's cool. But he represents like goodness, and he represents the light side of the Force, and he's just pure in a way that if they ever actually stepped over that line, I don't know how I could handle it, like, or how I would take it. And I feel the same way with Rey. Like, I'm interested in her being conflicted. I'm interested in her considering certain things. But I don't know. I feel like all they can do is toy with that. I mean, they can do anything they want, but like, for me to be happy, I feel like the most they can do is toy with that. But I think she needs to overcome it, because she represents hope to so many people, and as Luke did. And I mean, she's just this like hero for little girls everywhere and for everyone everywhere. She's my hero, like, I don't know how I could take it if she turned. But I guess joining with Kylo doesn't necessarily mean turning, though, right? It could mean him turning, or it could mean them being in the middle somewhere. I don't know. Like, maybe they're gonna maybe the Bendu is between them in that moment. And you're not even really familiar with the Bendu yet, are you?
I've not yet seen season 3 of Rebels. No.
Well, he's the middle.
I'm working on it.
He's the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But like, I guess my thing too, like after the trailer in April, if there was one thing I was sure of, it was that the Jedi Order is not going to end, and that Luke Skywalker is not going to end this movie thinking like I needed to end the Jedi Order. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't have that in the trailer. You know what I mean? Like that's something early on that he's conflicted about, but that can't be the final story, or there's no way they'd put it in there. And I think I'm feeling kind of similar about the Rey Kylo thing. But I'm having some other feelings about Rey and Kylo, like from this trailer. I got to be that guy again and say that I just am. I'm not convinced at all that they're brother and sister, but I've been saying since December of 2015, I think they are brother and sister. That's where I'm going to put my money. I mean, who knows? And I'm not sure how it makes sense. Like, I'm not sure how they explain that in the story, in a way that's satisfying to people, because it doesn't really make sense. But like, I can't figure out her connection to anybody in a bloodline way and have it make sense. Like, I know people say, like, I know you say,
I said the first day I saw Force Awakens.
What?
She was a Kenobi.
Yeah, Kenobi. Right. You say Kenobi.
I'm not convinced of that.
Right.
That's the thing
so
that jumped out to me.
Yeah, we're in the same place. It's like that's where we are. That's where we feel like it's going, but we're not like. There's no proof. You can't know for sure.
Right.
There's not that much evidence, but
if I had to choose between she's the kid of Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And Leia,
mm-hmm.
she's Skywalker's kid, or she's Kenobi. I would choose Kenobi,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I felt right when I saw Force Awakens. But
right,
I think we're intentionally supposed to be, debating that.
Right. But to me, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that, I don't think it makes any sense. They can figure out a way to make it make sense, but I have trouble figuring out how she's going to be any of those people's kids with the way things have been laid out in the story. I guess, she has a British accent and she sneaks around and she shares similarities with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's hard for me to understand why he would have a child or grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't fit into his story. Same with Luke. It's hard for me to understand Luke Skywalker as a father. It just doesn't really seem like that would fit into his story. And I can see Leia and Han as parents, but why would their child be sent away? It seems like with any of those scenarios, it's going to be difficult, or I can't see how they're going to write those things. But when I watch this trailer, like I said, I'm seeing these similarities between Snoke and Luke, and I feel like they're being positioned as, two sides of the same coin, and I feel like it's the same thing with Rey and Kylo. And hearing Luke and Snoke talk about the raw, unlimited, the raw power, the incredible, power, just bubbling up in these two people, it's like they're talking about the same person almost, and obviously Rey and Kylo Ren are in terms of character and character arc and stuff, they are counterparts in these movies. That's clear, but just the way the way they're talking about them, the way the dialogue has that symmetry about these two characters, it just feels very poetic and very much they're brother and sister. I don't know. So again, I don't know how they would write it and have it make sense. And they don't need to do that for me to be happy, but I guess this just add a little more fuel to that fire for me, seeing this trailer, that would make sense for Rey and Kylo Ren. Emotionally, it would make sense, in terms of parallels and stuff, it would make sense. In terms of the narrative and how that actually logistically plays out, I don't know how they would do that, but it's a feeling I get here. So, I don't know. What else? Any other, what's your takeaway from the trailer tonight? Is it what you expected? Is it not what you expected? Is it satisfying? Where are you at with it?
Well, short of any appearance of Johnny Five, I'm probably more excited than I've ever been for any movie. I think that just not knowing what's going to happen to these characters who I'm attached to, and feeling like there are genuinely going to be some surprises was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think, our friend Jordan and Chris, they were messaging us in a big group thing saying I don't know, I might not watch the trailer because Rian Johnson's comment that he was kind of baited into making, but his comment like, oh, maybe you should go in clean and not watch the trailer.
His comment was very benign. Just, if you don't want to know everything, then don't watch it. He wasn't.
Or if you,
actually
if you just want to go in, like, yeah, exactly. I feel like it was a commentary on movie trailers in general, not on this specific movie trailer. Like, if you'd rather see a movie without knowing much about it, don't watch a trailer for the movie, was what the comment was. But it was kind of spun by people to be like, oh, he said this trailer you should watch because it gives too much away about The Last Jedi. No, I don't think that's true. But yeah, I was, I guess, based on some of that stuff, I was thinking like, oh my God, is it going to am I going to watch this trailer and feel like I know exactly how this movie is going to play out? I don't feel that way at all. Like, it just has me left asking all these questions. Like, is Rey going to turn on Luke? Is Luke going to, ultimately be a disappointment? Are Kylo and Rey going to join up? Is Kylo going to kill Leia? Like, I don't know. There's just...
Well, plus I want to know all of these characters' arcs. Finn, Poe, the two mentors. This is an interesting way to entice us into wanting to hear more about many, many different characters.
Yeah. I will say that it doesn't do a lot to show us what's new in this movie in terms of like characters specifically. We don't see a single frame of DJ. We don't see a single frame of Holdo. We don't see a single frame of
Hux. Was Hux?
Hux? No, Hux wasn't. But Rose. We don't see a single frame of Rose or Paige.
Interesting.
So like, I'm sure there's a lot of new stuff that it's just. It seems like their tact with this or their approach with this was like, well, let's just show them more of the characters they already know about, and
maybe this was aimed at the many, many people that made this the US box office winner,
right.
The all-time best.
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't bother me that stuff's not in there. I just think it's interesting, like there's a bunch of new characters and new things here. In terms of planets, it's just Octo and Crate, right? No Canto Bite. I don't think there's any Canto Bite in the trailer.
I don't think so.
And then I guess we don't know if there's other planets besides those ones. What's the Resistance base planet, Dakar, in The Force Awakens? I would think that's in there, but I don't. We don't see it. And then who knows if there's other stuff? But yeah, just in terms of new things. It's more expanding on what we've kind of already known about this movie just from the first trailer. We know that it's going to be Luke and Rey and Octo. We know that we assumed Kylo would be conflicted. We knew we'd get some of the flashback. We knew there was going to be a battle on Crate. We knew there'd be a space battle. Well, that's what we have in this trailer too. But with some much more kind of compelling and intriguing, not more compelling, but more like there's more of it, compelling dialogue. But I feel like that's the main difference kind of.
Also, we don't really know where Snoke is, right?
Well,
we have his...
He's on his ship, I think, which is where his...
That's where his throne room is?
I believe so. I guess I don't know that 100%, but I think that's the case, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this trailer like a million more times. And then I'm looking forward to probably getting some good coverage in Entertainment Weekly and... listening to all my favorite podcasts do their trailer episodes, and
we got tickets tonight, so
we did. It's a whole debacle with not debacle, but it wasn't quite the joyous experience I hoped it would be getting tickets tonight because they were so expensive, which is a whole nother story. But at least it wasn't tough. Our plan was to go to the movie theater to get the tickets, but I just saw that the AMC app had them up like probably an hour before the trailer went up, and we got them no problem. So,
and you should preface that by saying that the whole going to the movie theater idea came about during Force Awakens.
We couldn't get the ticket sites were all down. Yeah,
right. We thought that might be a good way to bypass the scalpers.
Yeah, but they kind of stealth, released the tickets tonight. Like, they went live, but they weren't advertised as being live. So hopefully that helped with the strain. I guess it's possible the sites could have gone down since after we got our tickets, and I don't know, but
I think they did. I think I went back on just to see where my seat was.
Okay.
And it said that there was a problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, today's October 9th. December 15th is just a little bit over 2 months away, so it's going to be a long wait. But hopefully, I know for sure I'm going to be watching this trailer a ton more times between now and December 15th, and hopefully, we'll have some other intriguing info coming out. But yeah, I think that's it for us in terms of our thoughts on the trailer for tonight. Never know, might get together with some of the other Blockade runners and talk about the trailer some more in the coming days. But for now, I think we're gonna sign off here. So you can catch up with us at blockaderunnerpodcast.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe and check out some of the other videos we've been posting. We have a bunch of stuff in our Power of the 90s series, and been posting gameplay of old Star Wars games. Might have some Battlefront 2 beta footage going up here in the next couple days. But yeah, you can keep up with everything we're doing there. All the podcasts are posted there. All the videos are posted there. So blockaderunnerpodcast.com. Check us out on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. While you're there, feel free to leave a review for us. That would be cool. And until next time, follow us on Twitter at Blockade Run. Kevin, you want to share your Twitter?
I'm not sure I remember it at the moment, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I just changed it, and I don't remember exactly. So
okay, all right. Well, you can.
Sorry,
that's okay. Inquiring minds can send messages to you through through the Blockade Runner Twitter account at Blockade Run. So
absolutely.
But here's hoping these next 2 months go by quickly, and we'll be back with more Blockade Runner podcast very soon.